So nobody else think it's cringy that these older women, aunties, MILFs is going after YNs or younger men. Nobody nervous for their sons. Nobody scared. Like, this not cringe for y'all.
Older women dating guys younger than their own kids sounds crazy, right? But it's happening everywhere, and the reasons will shock you. Over the past decade, I've observed a cultural shift in romantic dynamics that feels almost revolutionary. Women openly embracing relationships with significantly younger men. For generations, popular culture, social norms, and even family expectations have dictated that the standard, acceptable age gap in heterosexual relationships skewed heavily toward older men dating younger women. Movies, television, and media reinforced the idea that a man's status, wealth, or maturity made him more desirable, while women were often praised primarily for their youth and beauty. That model dominated not only cultural imagination, but also practical dating behavior. Men could pursue younger women without raising many eyebrows, but the reverse, women pursuing younger men, was historically viewed as taboo, awkward, or even scandalous. However, over the last decade, this paradigm has shifted noticeably. Women today are increasingly visible in relationships with men who are a decade or more younger than themselves, and they are doing so openly and confidently. No longer hidden in whispers, these relationships are discussed publicly, documented on social media, and even celebrated by fans and followers. Platforms like Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube have amplified these dynamics, allowing audiences to witness older women with younger men in real time, removing much of the secrecy that once shrouded such relationships. It's not just about celebrity culture, though that certainly plays a role. Even everyday women are more willing to explore and announce these relationships without fear of judgment. Part of this cultural shift can be attributed to broader societal changes regarding gender roles and expectations. For centuries, women were expected to marry men who could provide financial stability, social status, and protection. Men, in contrast, were allowed or even encouraged to pursue multiple partners and relationships without the same social scrutiny. The modern landscape is more equitable in terms of sexual freedom and agency. Women today have greater financial independence, career mobility, and social power than ever before. This independence allows women to prioritize qualities beyond economic security when selecting partners, including emotional intelligence, vitality, playfulness, and sexual compatibility, qualities often more prominent in younger men. Psychological and emotional factors also play a significant role. Younger men may bring energy, enthusiasm, and a sense of adventure to relationships that some older women find appealing. Many older women have experienced long-term relationships or even marriages and understand their own emotional needs and boundaries better than they did in their youth. This self-awareness allows them to seek partners who complement their lifestyle, rather than conforming strictly to societal expectations. Additionally, there's a sense of empowerment in dating younger men. It's a rejection of the double standard that historically limited women's romantic freedom while celebrating the same behavior in men. Choosing a younger partner becomes a statement, not just about personal preference, but about autonomy and self-determination. Of course, this trend is visible most prominently among celebrities, whose relationships are publicized widely and often serve as social proof for the broader public. Figures such as Madonna in the late 20th century began to normalize the idea of older women dating younger men, but her relationships were often sensationalized and criticized in ways that reinforced traditional gender expectations. Today, however, celebrities like Salma Hayek, Nicole Kidman, and others have shown that these relationships can be stable, healthy, and mutually fulfilling. In contemporary culture, when a woman's age exceeds her male partner's by a decade or more, it often attracts admiration, curiosity, or even emulation rather than scandal, an entirely new social reality compared to previous decades. Social media has accelerated this visibility dramatically. Platforms allow couples to display their relationships on a global stage, and audiences often react with fascination, admiration, or envy. The constant documentation of travel, lifestyle, and shared experiences between older women and younger men normalizes these pairings in ways that traditional media could never achieve. Viral posts, trending hashtags, and commentary videos have made such relationships part of everyday conversation, reinforcing the idea that age is less significant than mutual attraction, shared values, and emotional compatibility. Yet, while this trend is growing, it still exists within a complicated web of social perception. Although acceptance is increasing, older women dating younger men can still face subtle criticism, stereotypes, or unwarranted scrutiny. Phrases like cougar or MILF carry sexualized undertones that sometimes reduce women to objects of desire rather than full human beings navigating complex relationships. Critics may claim that the younger male partner is opportunistic, immature, or motivated solely by physical attraction, while ignoring the genuine emotional and intellectual connections that often define these relationships. Despite this, the normalization of such dynamics continues to expand, reshaping public understanding of age, power, and attraction. Historically, the stigma against older women dating younger men also had roots in reproductive assumptions. For much of human history, women's social value was linked closely to fertility and childbearing. Younger women were preferred partners because they could biologically bear children, while older women faced societal assumptions that they were less capable or less desirable. Today, reproductive technology, delayed parenthood, and shifting life priorities have altered these assumptions. Women in their late 30s and 40s can have children if desired, and even without the biological imperative, relationships are increasingly about companionship, growth, and shared experience rather than reproduction alone. Another factor influencing this shift is the evolving concept of masculinity. Younger men are, in some ways, more comfortable with egalitarian relationships, emotional vulnerability, and partnership dynamics that differ from traditional gender hierarchies. For some older women, these qualities are highly appealing, particularly if they have previously experienced relationships with men who are rigid, controlling, or emotionally unavailable. A younger partner may offer fresh energy, curiosity, and a willingness to engage in a more balanced dynamic, making the relationship more emotionally rewarding. It's also worth noting that this trend intersects with broader cultural shifts regarding body image, health, and longevity. Older women today are living longer, healthier lives than previous generations, often maintaining vitality and physical appearance that defy traditional age expectations. In turn, younger men are more receptive to dating women who are confident, experienced, and self-assured, seeing these traits as attractive rather than intimidating. This challenges the narrow cultural script that once restricted romantic options based on age alone.
When you're younger, you want to date older guys. And I'm not saying when you get older, you want to date younger guys, but when you get older, only younger guys want to date you. It's the wildest thing. Literally, guys will DM me or want to take me out, and I'll Google them. I'll be like, you're 22 years old. Like, how? Like, how?
Of course, relationships with significant age gaps are not without challenges. Differences in life experience, career stage, social circles, and even energy levels can create friction. Yet for many couples, the benefits, mutual growth, emotional compatibility, and shared adventure outweigh potential obstacles. Importantly, these relationships highlight the evolving nature of modern romance, where traditional metrics such as age and gender roles are increasingly secondary to connection, compatibility, and shared vision. In conclusion, the past decade has seen a remarkable cultural shift. Women embracing younger partners openly, confidently, and without apology. This change reflects broader societal transformations, including gender equality, financial independence, evolving notions of masculinity, and expanded social acceptance of diverse relationship dynamics. No longer confined to secrecy or gossip, older women dating younger men have become normalized, visible, and even celebrated in ways that challenge centuries-old conventions. As society continues to evolve, it's likely this trend will expand further, demonstrating that love, attraction, and partnership are increasingly defined by personal choice, mutual respect, and shared growth rather than outdated cultural scripts. Take Alan Anthony, for example. Her relationship with a younger man only came into the spotlight after her divorce from Carmelo Anthony. Interestingly, even during her marriage to Carmelo, she was already several years his senior, around 4 or 5 years older. this trend isn't entirely new. We've seen similar pairings before. Older women with younger men, like Bernie Burgos dating Jaylen Brown, or Kesha Cole with Nico Cali, and then later with Hano. Each case attracted attention, yet it was still somewhat taboo. Now, consider the extreme reactions online when women like Dree Michelle are involved. The idea of her dating a 23-year-old, having a child by someone barely older than her oldest son, shocks a lot of people. It feels almost unthinkable, even sick to some. Yet in Dree's situation, it has some context. She's about 40, Jalen Green is 23, and he's making a substantial income as a professional basketball player for the Phoenix Suns. The age gap raises eyebrows, but the circumstances make it more understandable. Then there are cases that feel less justifiable to the public, like Mika Kisha, nearing 40, recently widowed, and yet quickly photographed with a much younger man. Hood Trophy Bino, around 25, an emerging rapper without significant fame or wealth. The optics are jarring. Him kissing her, publicly affectionate, while she's still in mourning. It even compelled her to address the situation publicly. What's striking and unsettling to some is how normalized these relationships are becoming online. Blogs and comment sections openly discuss them, even when context like long-term separation is overlooked. The repeated reactions of damn, damn, damn from viewers underscore both fascination and disbelief. Mika Ka is out here defending her choice to date a man 15 years her junior, someone who doesn't even compare financially to her late estranged husband. But while that grabs attention, the story dominating conversations right now revolves around rapper NL Choppa. You might remember him from last year when he went viral for allegedly getting his stylist, Newell West, pregnant. At that time, she was 42, and he was just 22, a staggering 20-year age gap. Now it's confirmed. She has had his child. Newell isn't just anyone. She's one of the most respected stylists in hip-hop, working with names like Blueface and many others. Even before the pregnancy news, their dynamic was already a hot topic. NL Choppa, despite being only 22, already has a few children. His reputation hasn't been spotless either. One of his previous partners, a woman in her 30s, went on live streams complaining that he had gotten her pregnant, but then refused to step up as a father. Before that, yet another baby mama had similar complaints, painting a consistent picture of irresponsibility. And just when you think it couldn't get messier, the story continues to unfold. She went live and more or less confirmed the news, revealing that NL Choppa has a baby on the way. She shared that he wasn't present for their son's birthday party earlier this year, even though the child was planned, marking him as a third baby mama now expecting his child. And let's not forget the drama with the first baby mama. Not only did she complain publicly about him, but there were also reports of him allegedly shooting up her house. Meanwhile, he was involved with Newell West, a woman old enough to be his mother, and got her pregnant. The chaos was staggering. Curious about the trend of younger men dating older women, I decided to ask around. Surprisingly, the responses were telling. Yes, there really are young men who prefer older women. One young man admitted that no woman had taught him more about intimacy until she was older than him. In fact, it was almost intimidating at first, but he quickly realized the value in the experience. From his perspective, older women are direct and confident, and sexually, they offer a level of insight and skill that younger partners often don't. Intrigued by his perspective, I moved on to gather opinions from others, hoping to see if this was a common sentiment.
Are such a good time though with each other. Like when they fuck with a young, they love to have a good time, like conversation wise, everything. They always keep it going too. They never dull. When I come to a joint that's maybe my age, I got potential to have to deal with keeping the conversation going. She might want to get super duper drunk at dinner. MILF might want to have 1 or 2 drinks. We can drink after.
One young man shared a perspective that went a bit deeper. He explained that when he interacts with older women, the conversations naturally have more depth. He doesn't have to overexert himself to keep the dialogue interesting. I can relate, especially reflecting on my own experiences in my 20s. When dealing with younger women, it often felt like pulling teeth. One-word replies, short responses, or "what's up?" texts that led nowhere. With older women, by contrast, if they're interested, They respond thoughtfully and can handle themselves better. He also noted a behavioral difference. Younger women might get sloppy drunk or act impulsively, whereas older women tend to be more reserved and composed. For a young man, especially someone raised by a single mom, this sense of maturity, combined with the potential for guidance or mentorship, can be highly appealing. But then I ask the reverse question: why would an older woman be attracted to a younger man? Voices like Amber Rose and Tracy Ellis Ross often point to similar reasons. Younger men are generally less misogynistic, fun to be around, and a breath of fresh air. This is fascinating because it challenges traditional expectations. Older women, who might have once focused on a man's earning potential or status, now find themselves valuing qualities like energy, lightness, and enthusiasm over wealth. Yet it's not a perfect match. A younger man without life experience or financial stability, like Hood Trophy Bino, can't necessarily sustain a long-term relationship with a more established woman. The solution, I realized, comes down to comfort and familiarity. As men age, particularly Black men, many evolve. They mature, change, and may no longer desire immature relationships. Older women, on the other hand, often aren't seeking transformation or deep personal growth. They want familiarity. Dating a younger man allows them to stay in a dynamic they understand and feel comfortable with. I don't claim this happens universally, but it resonates with my observations. Men, as they grow, are often more attuned to evolution. They recognize that to remain competitive in relationships, they must develop mentally, emotionally, financially, and socially. They ask themselves, what is the market value? What do people want? In contrast, older women may prioritize emotional ease and comfort, which a younger partner can provide without demanding adaptation. In short, this dynamic isn't just about attraction. It's a reflection of life stages, growth patterns, and what each party seeks from a relationship. In my view, women often approach the dating market differently as they age. Many develop a mindset that boils down to, what are you going to do for me? What can you provide? After investing so much time and energy in past relationships, there's a sense of frustration. If a partner isn't meeting their needs, they feel justified in walking away. The unintended consequence of this mentality is that women may stop evolving within the dating market. Men, by contrast, are often compelled to grow professionally, financially, and emotionally, simply to stay competitive. Women, feeling they've already developed, may plateau. This is what I offer. Take it or leave it. The result? While they may still look amazing and maintain an impressive presence, the pool of men who meet their standards and have the resources they seek often continues to grow and move forward. Take figures like Kesha Cole, Dree Michelle, or Mika Kisha. They're all accomplished, attractive, and visible, but men at their previous level of desirability may no longer pursue them. From a market perspective, it can actually be cheaper or easier for men to date younger women who are not only physically appealing but also more aligned with their current life stage. In other words, these women can inadvertently price themselves out of the dating market. This often leaves them choosing partners who are younger, less experienced, or less financially established, men who are at their level intellectually or emotionally rather than financially. Some may frame this as empowerment or a deliberate choice, but in reality, it can reflect a limitation in how they navigate the dating landscape. To be clear, this doesn't diminish their value, accomplishments, or attractiveness. It's not about financial worth, it's about growth and evolution. When personal growth stagnates, opportunities naturally shrink, and the dating market shifts accordingly. This phenomenon isn't unique to dating, it happens across every field. In sports, for example, you can have athletes with incredible natural talent or instincts, but if they don't develop a jump shot, improve their defense, or learn to read the field like a quarterback, all that raw ability means little. The same principle applies in the dating world. If women refuse to evolve alongside the type of men they desire, if their mindset is, "What are you going to do for me?" then those men will simply move on to partners who meet them where they are. The result? The women are left frustrated, waiting for the market to owe them something. Meanwhile, they settle for younger men like Hood Trophy Bino, or, if lucky, someone like Jalen Green. When a woman in her 40s becomes involved with a man in his early 20s who is inexperienced, unfaithful, or immature, it's not necessarily flattering. It reflects a failure to grow into someone that the men she desires would value. It shows that despite age and experience, she hasn't developed the qualities needed to attract and maintain a partnership with the type of man she truly wants. This pattern isn't limited to unknown figures. It applies to celebrities too. Cardi B, for instance, and even other high-profile women make similar choices, opting for younger partners instead of evolving into what the market truly demands. Even Nicki Minaj dating Kenneth Petty illustrates the same principle. She's with someone who can handle her reality because very few would tolerate her without compromise. Ultimately, when someone refuses to develop or adapt to what the market values, they end up choosing only what is available, rather than what aligns with their desires. Growth, self-awareness, and value creation aren't optional. They're essential if you want to attract and maintain the right partnerships.